I know a lot of people that
I was actually on another show. I think I'd got past, like, in between shows. I got past right when this show I was on called Hardball fell apart.
I don't know Hardball.
It was canceled very quickly. It's like 6 episodes on Fox. It was a baseball show. And while I was on TV, that wasn't my main goal. Was I had to be a paid regular. I had to get to be a paid regular at the store. Dude, when I was a kid, like in '88, when I was 21 years old, people would talk about the Comedy Store like with hushed tones, like it was Mecca. That's where Kinnison came from.
Right.
It was like, whoa, Richard Pryor used to work out there. Whoa.
Right. I was there every night, watched that.
Was there. Yeah, you would hear about Bill Hicks used to be a door guy. Holy shit.
Right.
It was Mecca. Everybody knew you had to get to the store.
Right.
So when I came to LA, that's like the first thing I did, man. Like the very first thing I did when I came out here, I came and watched a show and sat in the back room. It was a terrible show. It was like Bodaks were on stage. It was awful.
Really?
Like,
I used to sit in the back. I used to sit in the back and you know, Letterman was the host, you know, who was this weatherman that came out from Indianapolis, you know, and he was just pretty casual about. You didn't think. I thought he was hysterical.
Yeah.
But and you'd watch, you know, Jeff Altman and Billy Crystal and Robin, who was on fire because he just started Mork and Mindy. Mm-hmm. And then every night I would watch Richard Pryor. He come out and he was putting together what became Live on the Sunset Strip. Wow. And he would get up every fucking night and like some people would be packed down the street to see him. But I remember standing at the back. He had just gotten out of the hospital from freebasing. He still had bandages on his neck from, for those that don't remember, you know, he almost died.
He lit himself on fire.
Lit himself on fire. And there was a joke, which he started. I saw him do it at the Comedy Store. He used to light a match and go like this. He goes, "What's this? This is me running down the street." And then that became like a joke. But he perpetrated that joke. And at the time, it's hard to put this in context. It didn't get a big laugh. People's jaw dropped. Like, you don't talk about your near-death experience, you know? And he would always, like, push the envelope. And I was just in awe. I never saw a comic do this in my life. That he didn't have jokes, per se, where he would just talk about his life. Or he would experiment. I talked about one particular night. I did Binders. Did you see the Comedy Store?
Yes.
I think you're in it.
Yes.
Yeah. I talked about the one night I'll never forget. He just walks in, the crowd goes fucking nuts for him, you know, and he turns around and he starts doing. I can't do him justice, but he says, you know, "I'm the fucking Lord. I'm the Lord," and everybody's laughing. And I'm just here to pick up my son. I'm here to pick up my son. You might have seen him. He's kind of a skinny kid with a beard and a robe, a long robe. Goes by the name Jesus. Did anybody see my son? Where's my son? And people are laughing, but it's getting kind of uncomfortable. And he goes, I need my, where is my son? And then he leans down as if somebody in the front row is talking to him. He goes, what? What the fuck did you do? What? Where is my fuck? What did you, and he just starts screaming, my son, my boy, my baby. What the fuck did you do to my son? What the fuck did you do? And he's like screaming, what the fuck did you do to my son? And he and I can't remember because I don't remember the order. He wants to talk to an apostle. And then he realizes, what the fuck did you do to him? And then he goes, bring me Martin Luther King. Bring me Martin Luther King. Where the fuck is Martin Luther King? And then he gets that info. And he goes, where's Kennedy? I want to talk to Kennedy. And he goes, where the fuck? And he's screaming, and he's got tears coming down his eyes. The room is just sitting there in awe. And then he turns around, and he points at the entire room, and he goes, you're on your own. And he walked out.
Oh my God.
I know. And I thought, fuck, but that's Richard fucking Pryor, who just had he knew, he just went for emotion, you know, not only laughter, emotion.
Well, what I feel like is that Lenny Bruce was the first guy to do our kind of comedy, where it wasn't just street jokes, it wasn't just, you know, two Jews walking to a bar, that kind of stuff. It was like, he would talk about life, he would talk about social issues, and then Pryor made it way funnier. Like, Pryor stuff still holds up. The Lenny Bruce stuff, it's hard because of the context of the time. Like, you can't put yourself in 1960 and sit there and understand the cultural context of how crazy everything he's saying is. he still has some jokes that fucking still would kill today.
But Richard Pryor's life, he
Yes.
was raised in a brothel with no money, had horrible issues with relationships and drugs, and that's that's what he talked about, and those are the characters that he mimicked, and those characters are still alive and well today, like that kind of character. So
the Italian mobsters, when they did the thing about him getting paid and they're giving him noogies.
Yes.
He pulled out a fake gun.
But that's real, and that was the first time I realized, you will never see anything in my comedy where you will say that's Richard Pryor like, but it really is, and this is what I identified with. If you look at old YouTube videos of me when I first peaked, and I went on stage on a dare, and the dare was I didn't want to be a comic. I just thought if somebody goes, ladies and gentlemen, Howie, and I said okay, and if somebody goes, ladies and gentlemen, Howie Mandel, that'll be a joke, right? Because there's no reason for Howie Mandel to be on the fucking stage. And I went on the stage, and then I realized, oh shit, people are looking at me. This is the most embarrassing. This is the most humiliating. This is the most terrifying moment for me in this moment. So I started to panic. And in my panic, I started going, if you look at old YouTube videos of me, my act is me panicking, and it's me going, okay, all right, okay, all right, oh, okay, all right. And then they start laughing at me panicking, and I go, what? Yeah. And then I didn't know what the fuck to do, and I put my hands in my pocket, and because we've talked about it, I have OCD, I carried rubber gloves with me always. And because if I was out in public, I was going to go to a public restroom, and I didn't want to touch anything, and I had gloves, and I didn't know what to do. I had the glove came out of my pocket because my hands were in my pocket, so I pulled it over my head. And I just started breathing, and the fingers are going up and down. The crowd's going crazy, and I blow up the glove, and I pop it off, and they roar, and I had enough sense to go, good night, and I walked off. And Mark Breslin, did you ever work at Yuck Yucks in Toronto?
I've been at Yuck Yucks in Vancouver.
Yeah, so Mark, the owner, said, Toronto. You got to come back tomorrow. And I said, for what? He goes, to do it again. I go, do what? He goes, do what you fucking did. And that became my thing.
Wow.
I never wrote anything. I didn't have anything. I was just...